Hello, dear students. Myself Asif Farooq, and I am going to teach you Python programming. So, our first topic starts with Introduction to Python Programming. In this course, we are going to learn about the Python programming from basic to advanced. So, first of all, let me tell you what is the concept of programming. The programming is a process. You should note it down that programming is a process of creating a set of instructions that tells a computer how to perform a task. That means while we are writing a program, we are actually creating a set of instructions. We are creating a set of instructions that tells a computer how you have to perform a task. But you should note down first that a computer understands only binary language. So there should be a medium through which we can give instructions to our computer through some language so that the computer can understand. So the programming is the process of creating a set of instructions that is basically telling a computer how you have to perform a task. Now, what is the need of learning programming? First, it is basically to automate the tasks, and secondly, to solve problems efficiently, and third is to develop software and applications. Let me tell you first that this programming is a practical thing that you have to learn. So I will mm, keep less focus on theory and more focus on practicals, because at last we have to work on the practicals. So the key components in our program are the algorithms. So what is an algorithm? The first question is, what is an algorithm? An algorithm, it can be defined as a sequence of steps that a programmer uses to solve a problem. For example, I will give a simple example of how to create an algorithm. Just like I have to add two numbers. So first of all, what I will do, I will take the first number from the user, then I will take second number from the user, and then I will do the addition of these two numbers and store the result in another variable, and I will print that. So I am following a sequence of steps to solve a problem. Now here the key components in a program are writing. First we write our program, then we test it, and then after we do debugging. If there is any sort of error or the program is working but it's not giving the correct result, then we use the process of debugging. Debugging means the process of resolving the error. Now, how do we define a computer program? Just as I told you, a program is a process. Programming is a process. Same case, a computer program is a sequence of instructions. It is a sequence. You should note it down that it is a sequence of instructions that is used to perform a specific task. Just like I told you that I have to add two numbers. For two addition of two numbers, I followed three steps, but those three steps were in a sequence. And what was the aim of writing those instructions? It was to perform addition of two numbers. That is why a program is a sequence of instructions that is written to perform a specific task. Now, how it works? Firstly, we give input, that is the data that is provided by the user. Just like I gave two numbers, 3 and 4, that is an input. Then next step is process. Process means logical steps executed by the program. And third is the output. For example, if I am giving 4 plus 3, our computer processes it as per the instructions that we have written in the program. And third, it gives us the output. A calculator is also an example of a computer program. You give two numbers, and you give the operator. For example, if I have to add two numbers, 5 plus 7, I write 5, that is the input, plus that is the input, 7, that is the input, and then calculator processes it and gives us the output, that is 12. Now, first of all, before discussing about Python language, let me tell about, I will give a brief introduction about high level language and low level language. As you know that computer all only understands a language that's written in zeros and ones, that is known as binary language. So it's also known as machine language or low level language. So here I will tell you, a low level language is a programming language. It is basically a programming language that is close to machine code or hardware, that offers minimal abstraction and direct control over system resources. Whatever we give instruction to our computer, that is basically converted into low level language. Now there is a question, if computer only understands only by a binary language, that is the low level language, zeros and ones, then how come we give instructions to our computer and it performs our tasks? Basically we write our programs in a high level language, and there is a translator that translates a high level language into low level language, and though that low level language is understood by our computer. So here, a high level programming language is a programming language that is designed to be easy for humans to read, write, and understand. Just like we have examples, we have Python, we have Java, we have C Sharp, we have JavaScript. These are examples of what? These are examples of high level language, and these high level languages are translated into low level language by our translators. Translators includes our compilers, our interpreters. I will tell you also about that. So what is a Python programming? I already told you that Python is a high level language, that is it is written in human readable form so that humans can write it easily and they can understand. Otherwise, if I tell you you have to add two numbers but you have to write the code in zeros and ones, can you do that? That is not possible, because it will be very difficult for us to program. So what we have done, we have developed a high level language, and in that we write our code in human readable form, that is well written in human readable form, and we easily understand it, and then after those instructions are converted into machine language. So what is Python programming? Python is a high level, as I told you, it's a high level programming language and interpreted programming language. There are two types of translators that convert a high level language into low level language. So first is compiler, that translate, just like I have written these set of instructions, I have written this line of code and I have written this line of code. What will a compiler do? It will compile all the code at once and will translate it into machine code if there is no error. If there is error, then it will stop. Now what an interpreter does, it will first convert this line into machine language, then after it will convert this line into machine language, then after it will convert this line into machine language. So the difference is clear, that a compiler translates the whole code in once into machine code, while as a interpreter, what it does, it translates the code line by line. So why we are going to learn Python programming? As you know that it is so much easy. Before, if you might have an experience about programming language, if you have known about C or C++, we have to follow very strict syntax there, but here there is so much flexibility that it's really so much easy to understand. Firstly, it is easy to learn and use, and there is extensive standard library, and third, it's a high level language. So What are the uses of Python? As you know, in almost artificial intelligence, machine learning, Python is used. Python also has a web framework. It's used, that's known as Django, that is written in Python language. So we use Python in web development, data analysis, machine learning, automation, and more. So before starting Python, we have to install two things in our system. Firstly, what we have to do, we have to install Python from the website python.org. And secondly, we have to use IDE, integrated development environment. We can use VS Code, we can use PyCharm, or we can use Jupyter Notebook, but for our convenience, we will use VS Code. So firstly, you will go in your Chrome browser, and here you will type simply, you don't have too much, there is no rocket science, it is very much easy. You have just right here download Python. After downloading Python, you will visit this website. Click on this website, and here you will get the option download Python. After downloading, you can install it just like you install other softwares. And after installing, you should check the version of your Python. For that, we will go to our command prompt, and here you will type python minus minus version, and here the version of my Python installed in my system is 3.9.0. But you might be wondering that uh, I told you that here the version was download Python 3.13.1, because in my system the Python installed was of old version, and since I have been using this in my software, that's why I have not installed it here. The second thing that you have to do is you have to install Visual Studio. VS Code, download VS Code. So you will visit this website, and here you can click on this download button, and you can install VS Code. So I will start my VS Code here. This is my VS Code. I will firstly tell you, once you install the VS Code, you will get an interface like this. Here in your VS Code, you should click on this tab. It's an extensions tab, and here what you have to do, you have to type Python. It's basically an extension. Here you have to type Python. Here it's taking time, and here you have to install it. Since it's already installed in my system, I don't have to install it, but for the first time you have to install it only once. Once you have done this, now we are ready to make our first hello world program in Python. So how we will create that, I will show you. I have created a folder Python programs. Click on this folder. You can also follow the same steps that I am doing. Right click here, and here click on open with code, and your VS Code will open automatically in the folder Python programs. Now here what I will do, I will create a file. For creating a file, I will firstly zoom this so that you will get better clarity. Oh, it's too much. So here what I will do, you will click on this icon. It's used for creating a new file, and I will write my first program in Python, that is welcome.py. .py is an extension of a Python file. You should note it down. So I click on this, and here I am ready to execute my first Python program. We will write simply just like if you have done programming in C or C++. The first program that you would have wrote, that will be hello world program. Same case, we will write the first program of our Python like this: print. We will use the print function here, and double quotes, welcome to the world of Python. I will save this, and here you can execute your program like this. Click on this run code, and you will see in the terminal our first Python program. Welcome to the world of Python. Why is it taking time? Actually, it's executing. So you can see here, welcome to the world of Python. There is another way of executing your program. Instead of clicking on this run code, you can also write Python and give the file name, just like my name of my file is welcome.py. So I will click on this and my program starts executing. So this was our first hello world program, welcome to the world of Python. So we have done the welcome to the world of Python. Now here, firstly we have to discuss about variables. What are variables in Python? A variable in Python is a symbolic name. Actually, a variable is a name that we give to a memory location. It actually acts as a container to hold our values, and we can manipulate and use those values in the program. Let me show you how to declare a variable. Just like I am here, and I will write a is equal to 10. What does this statement does? It actually creates a variable of type integer, and the value in it is stored is 10. Similarly, I can create another variable b is equal to 20. I can print the value of a is equal to a. I will execute my program, and you can see the value of a here comes as 10. Now I can also manipulate it. Since it's a variable, you should note down, a variable means we can change its values. If I have written a is equal to 10, and after this statement, after executing this statement, I will write a is equal to 50, and if I print the value of a, it will be now 50 instead of 10, because actually we are manipulating the value of variable. See, you can see here the value of a is equal to 10, the value of a is equal to 50. Similarly, you can do this same task on variable b, and so on. Now, before declaring a variable, there are few rules for declaring a variable. Firstly, a variable name should start with either small a or capital A. It should not start with a number. Just like I want to write 1a, it is not allowed in Python. It throws an error because you cannot start the name of a variable with a number. Now I will, otherwise, for example, if I use ASE1, I can use the number not at the start but in the middle or at the end of my variable name, but not at the start. At the start, you can't start the name of variable with a number. Just like ASE1, I will write here ASE1, and here I will execute this, and my program works fine. It was rule number 1, that a variable name should not start with a number. I will show you the rules. Variable names must begin with a letter or an underscore. No special characters are allowed in variable definition. Variable names can contain only letters, numbers, and underscore. I will tell you one thing, I will make you understand like this. If I use a special character, like I use dollar here, even if I use in the middle of the name of my variable, still it throws an error because you cannot use special characters while declaring a variable. And third is, you cannot make a space, just like if I use ball, it's not allowed. You cannot use space in a variable, so it shows here as an error. Now what I will do, I will keep underscore here. If I print the value of this ba underscore ll, it will execute now correctly, it doesn't throw an error. So if in case you want a space in your variable name, you should use underscore character instead of making a direct space. And also I will tell you one more thing while declaring a variable name. If I name a variable as test is equal to 50 and test is equal to 50, you will say the name of the variable is almost the same, but they are case sensitive. I will tell you how. If I write here test is equal to 50, I will print this firstly, then I will print you can see, even though the variable name is same, but it's case sensitive. Small letters, it means one variable, test is another variable, even though their names are same, but due to uppercase and lowercase, they are two different variables. If I change the value of test is equal to 55, you can see the value of test is still 60, but the value of variable this test is changing. You can check it here. Okay, so this was about the rules for defining a variables in Python. And also you cannot use Python keywords. What are the Python keywords? Just like we have, if we have for, we cannot use them for declaring the names of a variable. Now I will tell you another thing. Here we have a concept of comments. We have two types of comments here. One is single line and another is multi-line comment. So what are they? We will discuss about them. Just like I have a is equal to 10, I want to write some text so that tomorrow if I visit my program, I would come to know that this point here means it has this meaning, or I want to write something text regarding this. If I type simple text here, it throws an error. So for that we have comments. Now we have single line comments and we have double line comments. The single line comment starts with hash. I will write here declares a variable a. So you can see that I have written a text, but this is a comment here. It's a single line comment. Similarly, if I want to declare this is a Python program and I want to add two numbers. Now suppose you want to write a comment, but that is in two lines. For that we cannot use this single line comment. What we will use? We will use multi-line comment. And this is the way by which you can write your multi-line comments. So this was the concept of comments here. What is a single line comment and what is a double line comment? You can write it in three lines, 4 lines, as much as you want. It's like I have written here. So the next topic that comes is the data types. We will learn about data types. What is a data type? A data type defines basically the type of variable that we want to store, the type of data that we want to store in a variable. Data types define the kind of data a variable can store in a programming language, such as numbers, text, or boolean values. The primitive data types include, that are the basic data types, include integer, float, string, boolean, and none. I will show you this one by one here. Just like a is equal to 10. So what will be the type of a? It will be of type integer. B is equal to 13.5. B is a type of float. C is equal to hello. This is a type of string. D is equal to true. This is a type of boolean. So here, this, just like I have to write comments here, I will write integer variable. This is the use of comments. Similarly, if I want to use here, I have to tell that this is a floating type variable. Float variable. Float here means decimal. FL OAT, float variable. This is a string variable. And this is a boolean variable. So this is the usage of comments. Now you will now better understand why we are using comments here. Now if I want to print the type of these variables, I will simply use print type is equal to, we have a function that is known as type type, and here I will write a. I will copy this, we'll paste it here. V, control V, and control V. Here I will write type of B, it's C, and hits here T. Now control S is for saving your program. Now I will run my code here. You will check the type. The type of A is integer, that's written here int. The type of B is float, and that's why it's written float here. The type of C is string, that's why here it's written str, and the type of D is bool, that's why it's written, since it is a boolean, that's why it's written boolean here. Now if I change here, what it does, since we know that we can change the value of a variable dynamically, if I change the value of A is equal to, I will write here welcome, and if I execute this program, you will see that the type of A automatically changes to string. So this was about data types in Python. Now we will write our first Python program that will do addition of two numbers. That will be our simple Python program. Now let us create our first Python program. I will make another file, and I will write here, so what is untitled, I will write here addition dot py. Close this addition.py. So I will tell you how I can use multi-line comments here. Program to calculate addition of two numbers. Here I have written the description of my program using multi-line comment. I can also use single line comment, but for the sake of showing you, that's why I am writing here multi-line comment, so that you can better understand this what is the usage of the comments. So firstly, what I will do here, otherwise if I try to write like this, program to calculate, I can't write here because it will throw an error. What I will do here, I will take two numbers from a user and I will do addition of those two numbers. I will write a is equal to input. Here input is a function. What it does, it takes the value from the user. Now before displaying input, I will show you simply. A is equal to 10, b is equal to 20, c is equal to a plus b, and here I will write print sum of two numbers is equal to c. Just like I told you that this is a program. What here I have written instructions. This is instruction number 1, this is instruction number 2, this is instruction 3, and this is instruction 4. What it does, it is basically a set of instructions and it performs a specific task. What task it calculates? It calculates the addition of two numbers. I will show you here now. Sum of two numbers is equal to 30. Sum of two numbers is equal to 30. If I change the value of a to 50, then you will see sum of two numbers is equal to 70. Now let me tell you one thing, that it's not a dynamic program. What does dynamic mean? That I am assigning value directly by myself here in the program. A is equal to 50, b is equal to 20, and it will if I execute this program 100 times, it will always give me the answer 70. Now I want a user to give the input so that I can so that he can calculate the addition of two numbers. For that we will use input function here. Input, enter the value of a. Similarly I can write here Control C, Control V, enter the value of b. Now when I will execute this program, I will execute this program and see, enter the value of a, I will write 200, enter the value of b, I will write 300. But what is the answer? Answer comes 200, 300. I was expecting the answer to be 500, but what is this coming? Basically the problem here is that the input, whatever the input gives value, that is stored in the form of string. If we check the type of a, print, I will check type of a is equal to a. Control C and Control V. Type of B. Type of A, and here type of B. Now if I run this program, I will enter the value of A 600, I will enter the value of B as 700. Now check, the type of A is string. Sorry, I forgot to type here, right here type. Now if we have two strings, then what it does, it basically concatenates them. It does 700 plus 800. It actually combines those two strings. Now I want them to be converted into integers, so we will use casting, type casting. I will write int, I will, this will convert the value of A into integer. Similarly, I will type here int B C is equal to int A plus int B. Now if I execute this program, I get now 800, 900. I now get the correct answer. So you have learned about that whenever whatever the value input function provides, that is stored in the variable in the form of string, and if you want to convert it, then you have to use the typecasting, just like I have used it here. Int, what it does, it converts the value in variable A into integer. Similarly, int B, what it does, it converts the value of B into integer. Now if I write here float, if I write here float of A, and here float of B, you will see that the value will be converted into decimal. I will write 500, 800. See, the decimal points are now here. And the type of C is, we will also display the type of C. You will see the type of C is as per the value stored in the C. Here the type of C is equal to, you can check the type, enter the value of A 800, 500. Sum of type of C is now float, because we have converted this variable value in variable A into float and value in variable B into float. So this was our program regarding the addition of two numbers. We will write another program for calculating the area of a circle. Area dot py. Simply I will write my single line comment here. Program to calculate area of a circle. I will take variable r. R is equal to, as you know that what is the formula of calculating area of a circle? That's pi r square. That's 3.14 into, here instead of writing, we don't have, in just like we write in mathematics, we write cross. Here we don't have, for calculation, for into multiplication, we have this asterisk operator. So we have to use this formula 3.14 into radius. I will take this variable as r into r. I will write this, and this is in the form of comment, so that you will remember this. Now I will write r is equal to input, enter the radius of circle. Area is equal to 3.14 into, now we can't write directly here r square, just like we write in mathematics, r raised to power 2. Here instead of r square, we will write r into r. Now if I print the value of area, print the value of area is equal to, now firstly we have to convert this into float so that we don't get the same issue. The value of area is equal to, remember this, when you have to type the value of a variable, firstly whatever there is in your string you have to write it in double quotes, then after that you have to write here comma and use the variable name, just like I write here area. Control S, I will execute this program. I can also execute this program like this. You should also remember this way also, area.py. I will enter the radius of circle, I will enter 5. Here I get the answer 78.5. Now we will do one more experiment here. I will comment this line. I will write here area is equal to 3.14 into R into R. We will check also this thing. Control S. Now here enter the, if I enter 5, see here it throws an error. Why it throws an error? Because R is string. You cannot multiply a floating point number, a decimal point number with a string. That's why here cannot multiply sequence by non-int of type float. Basically it here tells that R is a string. When R is a string, that you cannot multiply, it's just like the same thing you are writing 5 into A. That's why it's not executing, it's throwing an error. Now I will comment this line. Now you might have better understood the usage of these comments, why we use those single line and multi-line comments. I will execute my program once again. Name R is not defined. R is equal to, I will write here 5. Area is equal to float R into R. Okay, what is the issue? Okay, I have to save this first, then after I have to execute. Enter the radius of circle 5, and now my program works correctly. So this was our first lesson regarding the Python programming. I have told you what is a Python, what are the languages, high level languages, low level languages, what are data types. Now we will have a further discussion on various topics in Python in the next lectures. Hope this you find this video informative. Thank you.